Hello, good morning. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. We have a wholesome vlog for you guys, but before we jump into things, I'd like to give a little background and context regarding this video. So today's vlog is about sustainable fashion. As you know, the fashion industry is one of the biggest polluting industries in the world. The NRDC reports that clothing makes up a fifth of the world's 300 million tons of plastic pollution every year. Also, many reports state that waste happens at every stage of the manufacturing process, responsible for as much as 10% of the global carbon dioxide emission. Sustainable fashion are positive efforts that seek to reduce these environmental impacts. For me, my journey into sustainable fashion started when I was working on my first clothing line. So I decided to start a streetwear brand, and to be honest, I just wanted to make money off selling a couple of graphic t-shirts, but fortunately for me, I'm too curious for it to stop there. So I began to research how clothing is constructed. Lo and behold, this brought me to purchase my first and only sewing machine. Ta-da! See, the idea of sewing was not well understood in my household, often equated as a feminine trade. But in many places in the world, it's actually seen as just any other trade. Okay, I know. This bad boy takes a lot of practice to get a hold of. That's why I needed cheap material to get started. Huh? You see where I'm going here? That is when I had the brilliant idea to go looking for material at Value Village. Now, why Value Village, you may ask? Well, it's just cheaper and less confusing. You buy an old bedsheet and do whatever you want with it. Okay, now, please follow along in this video and I'll try and share some tips and tricks on how to get started in sustainable fashion. Now, I know for me, my journey into sustainable fashion was completely accidental and unintentional, but that doesn't have to be the same with you. Welcome back, guys. So we're outside of the Value Village. This is the Value Village on 34th Street, 34th Ave. The sun is beaming. It's a beautiful day today. We're gonna show you some materials that we can use here, secondhand material. So we're gonna be looking at some blankets, some sheets, whatever we can use, and just give you an insight of how to make sustainable, reusable, sustainable clothing. So when choosing fabrics at Value Village, there isn't much options. I usually journey into the bed and bath section and have my pick between bed sheets or maybe even curtains. You'll find a lot of interesting colors as these are donated and used materials, so they're coming from all sorts of different households. Yeah, it's very arts and crafty, but this is how you limit your contribution to fast fashion, by taking a more sustainable approach and buying and reusing materials. Before I show you Fabricland and what it has to offer, I would like to quickly share some of the clothing that I've managed to make using materials from Value Village. Bear in mind, I am just a beginner. My first experiment was making shirts, as it was the easiest thing to get started with in terms of understanding patterns. Essentially, what I did is used shirts that I grabbed from my closet and tried to understand its construction. And with the help of YouTube tutorials, I would recreate them without using any patterns. This is probably not the best way to learn, but it taught me a lot, especially regarding how far you can creatively push an idea. For example, I once bought this blazer and thought to myself this would make a nice jacket, so I decided to buy some zippers and replace the buttons with a jacket. And voila, my own blazer jacket was made. See, sustainable fashion not only allows you to create things from scratch, but also allows you to upscale pieces and bring a whole new dimension to them, exploring a side of fashion that you would have probably never thought of. Now, another important place you can visit is Fabricland. Fabricland is a retail company that provides everything a sewist needs, like pattern paper to draw and sketch your patterns, all of your colorful threads for your future projects. Personally, my favorite, the zippers for when you're venturing into functionality. But last and not least, fabrics. Fabrics, fabrics, and fabrics. It's important to consider to be mindful of purchasing fabrics, because wasted fabric is counteractive against our environment, hence why I suggested used fabrics first. But Fabricland does offer you the tools to help you upscale some of your pieces, whether that be adding an elastic waistband to your jeans or turning your curtains into pajamas. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If there's one thing that I would want you to take away from this, is that our personal everyday choices are what make the environment better. Sustainable fashion is not only a means to relieve the exhaustion caused by the fashion industry, but it's a means for you to have a story and connection with your clothing, ultimately tying you closer to fashion. Thank you.